Okay, so the next gesture we're going to look at is white crane spreads wings, or white crane spreads her wings. You might hear different translations of that gesture name. What I like to do is, again, I like to start off with just the hands. We can always look at the feet separate so that we can put the two together. The stances are usually the hardest part as far as bow stances goes, but the stance here is a cat stance. It's going to be somewhat simple. But I want to start with the hands first. Again, recognize that there's different styles of executing this. I'm just going to share with you the way that I do it. Okay? Alright, so when we finished parting of the wild horse's mane, we would have been in a left bow stance. Right now I'm just going to stand in Wu Chi because I'm working on just my hands. So for this particular style of white crane spreads her wings, again, moving from your center, we're going to turn to one side. Now I'm doing this in the normal direction of the form, but you need to practice the other side too. So we're going to turn to the left, which is going to be backwards to you, but we'll get to that eventually. So I'm going to hold the ball over here, just as if I was going to do one more parting the wild horse's mane. But this time I'm going to turn back to the right. So my center line is 45 degrees. When I make this first move, my center line is going to be over here. And actually, since I'm in this process here, when I go to the second part of white crane, my center line is going to be in the opposite corner, and then I'm going to finish straight ahead. So we're going to move from one corner to the other corner and straight ahead. So from the parting the wild horse's mane, I'm going to turn to the left, hold this ball. But this time, it's not really a true ball because my right hand's going to be a little deeper and my left hand's going to be slightly extended, because in this gesture, I want to feel the chi pass through my palms. So what I'm going to do here is drop my left hand down, pass my right hand just underneath it. Now my center is going to pull me all the way to that corner, and I'm going to form a slight beak hand, touching my thumb with 3 fingers, as if I was pulling on a thread of silk out to the side. My wrist is slightly cocked. Again, this is a block. I would be blocking an attack with my wrist. Alright, so from over here, I'm going to pass my hands over and then draw this string, and my center line is going to be in the right corner. Now, my right hand is shoulder level, my left hand is away from my hip and extended forward slightly. To finish the gesture, I'm going to square my hips to the front. That'll pull my left hand back, and my right hand is simply going to drop my wrist. Okay? I'm not going to raise it and form my hand like this. Since my hand is sideways, don't add. All you have to do is just drop the wrist. Now my hand is pointing forward. Okay? It's not going to be out this way. So even though I've drawn my string, my palm is facing me right now, dropping this, again, which will help drop my shoulder and my elbows, fingers are pointing towards the ceiling. So when you're looking at this from the front, your wings should be spread wide. I see a lot of people do this gesture like this. I don't feel any full expansion at all. In fact, in a sense, this is kind of closed, somewhat maybe an insecure kind of position or posture. Granted, it's a martial arts. So there would be a feeling of like, holy smoke, I'm like wide open for attack. However, that may be done intentionally to draw my opponent in. I have stuff that I can go to from there, so I'm not really worried about having this big open position. But again, since we're doing it from a health perspective, then you want your meridian lines to be wide open, okay? So the targets are to hit the left-hand corner, as you hold the ball off your left hip, lower hand's a little bit further back, upper hand's a little bit forward, so that you can pass them by in order to feel something here as they go by. Now draw the string and finish with dropping the palm. So let's do the other side. This was the normal side of the form. You'd be in a left bow stance at the end of parting the wild horse's mane. So switch your hands and do the exact same thing, but on this side. So in this case, since the right hand is up, and I use this to sort of help me figure out which way do I turn, kind of like coming up with little cues to myself. When you try doing the form in the other direction, especially if you've learned the 24 already and you're coming here and you're discovering this, you're going to find it very, very different to try to figure out how to move in the other direction, but you need to do that for true balance. All right, that being said, let's do the other side. So from here, I'm going to turn to my right and slide my left hand underneath, again a little bit deep, and my right hand is slightly extended. I want to cross my palms, draw the string, turn my center line to the opposite corner, be 45 degrees from the front. Draw the string out here, then square yourself to the front, drop the wrist, and retract the right hand just a little bit. So again, from right hand, as if I was in a right bow stance, parting the wild horse's mane, turn to the right, cross the palms, draw the string, square off, spread your wings. Again, not close, make them big, wide open. You want to feel all of this energy just coursing through your meridians. Okay? Okay, so let's look at the footwork now. The white crane spreads wings is done from a cat stance. So we're going to look at just how to get into the cat stance and not worry about our hands for now. Once we get the base worked out, we can put the hands in and do the whole gesture. So again, I recommend using your handy dandy diagnostic tool to establish a way to see where you're going to move your feet. So with a yardstick perpendicular to the direction of this gesture, I'm going to place my right heel at a 45 degree because I'm going to establish the bow stance that I had when I finished my parting of the wild horse's mane. So from here, in order for me to get to the cat stance, I want to shift all my weight forward. Now remember, we're trying to keep one height through the form. So as I shift to my left leg, I'm going to peel my right foot off. And I like to say, feel 5 toes down. I want to feel even pressure on all 5 toes right down to the pinky. And you'll see why in a second. But here's the thing to be careful of. When you do this, do not rise up. Again, the reason that we're having our one height is to keep your energy in a focused direction, which is why you don't push your heel to establish your bow stance in the back. Everything's moving forward. If I raise up and come down, my chi is broken. It's going up and down like this. So you want to keep everything level. So be mindful. When I shift to this front leg, I'm going to peel the heel off the back foot and keep my one height. Now, look down, because what you're going to do now is you're going to slide your right foot parallel to that yardstick and try to keep that contact. Bring it over to the point where your foot is maybe 3 inches, 4 or 5 inches to the right of your post leg. Because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down, put the heel down in my right foot. And once I put all my weight in the back, this is my cat stance. Okay? This foot here, in order for me to determine a cat stance, if I bring this straight back, it's going to pretty much almost intersect with my ankle. So this is how a cat stance is defined. It's in front of you slightly, either on the ball or the heel or flat. All right? For now, we're not going to stay in that flat foot for now. We're actually going to pick it up. Footwork wise, we would shift to the front, slide this foot behind me, then I'm going to put the heel down, and it should touch the yardstick behind me. So here's my cat stance. Now without the hands, what's going to happen with this left foot? I'd be turning to this corner as I spread my wings over here. This leg is going to come straight up. This becomes a problem. When you spread your wings, you're going to want to pull this foot to the corner. You have to focus your attention and get some flexibility in your hips. As I turn to the corner, I'm going to raise this foot straight up, keeping it forward. And the reason I want to do that is in case I need to kick with it. If I turn to the corner and bring it with me, then I'm not in a very good defensive position. Also, as I turn and lift this leg, notice that I peel the heel off and allow this front foot to relax and hang down. My goal is to have my thigh parallel to the floor. Where have we seen that before? That's this work here. So you want to have this come up waist high. Okay? So let me just review the footwork without the hands, then we'll put the two together. I'm going to shift forward, stay one height, bend my toes, and feel all 5 of them touching down. Your foot's at a 45-degree angle.
The reason that you want to slide this foot and keep it parallel to the yardstick is to maintain that 45-degree angle configuration, so that when you put the foot down, you have that same configuration. In an earlier video, I talked about how it's interesting to me that in both the cat stance and the bow stance, your rear foot, in this case your posted foot, is at a 45 and your front foot's straight ahead. So cat stance, same thing. Bow stance, same thing. That's why if you use a yardstick, it's going to help you keep this 45-degree angle as you slide your foot literally parallel to the yardstick. Then when you sit down and put it down, you have that 45 on the yang leg and straight ahead on this leg. Then the rest of it, it's just a matter of picking up the front foot, relaxing the ankle, turning to the corner, not letting this come with you. And then when you put it down, just drop it straight down, and you're going to end up on the ball of your foot. So this is the cat stance as far as the white crane spreads wings. Putting the two together, I'm going to have my bow stance. Here's my Parting the Wild Horse's mane. Keeping the one height, as I shift forward, I'm going to turn my center to pull my hands under here. I'm going to slip this ball in. But also, while I'm slipping this hand underneath, that's when I'm going to drag my foot across. So now, my foot's behind me, I've got the ball off my left hip, and I'm ready to put my heel down. My center line is 45 degrees to the corner. I'm going to put the heel down as I cross my palms. Once I do this, I draw the string, and when I turn to this corner, that's when I'm going to lift my leg and keep it straight ahead. To finish, I'm going to put my toes down, drop my wrist, and my left hand's going to get retracted a little bit. And that's how I finish this gesture. If I speed it up just a little bit, it's going to look like this. I'm going to shift, turn 45 degrees to my left corner as I prepare my back foot. I'm going to root that heel. I'm going to pass through my palms, draw the string, lift my leg, square off to the front. Okay? So this is the most challenging part, is to keep the one height and slide this perfectly parallel to the yardstick. So when you sit down, you're in the exact same configuration. Okay, so let's take a look at this from the side. Again, my form is going in this direction. I'm going to make my yardstick perpendicular to that. Alright, so I finished with Parting the Wild Horse's mane. First thing I'm going to do is shift forward. Oh, and by the way, you're always going to keep your zen point forward. Even though I'm turning to the corners, I'm still looking straight ahead. That's where my focus is. Alright, I'm going to shift forward first. Then I'm going to slide the foot, use your center, turn this palm up, slide the foot, bring it all the way over here, and keep it parallel to the yardsticks and hold the ball off your left hip. Put the heel down, spread the wings, pull the string, lift your left foot, but keep it straight ahead. Even though my center line's over there, do not let it come with you. Open your stance, open your pelvis. Finish by putting the toe down, just drop it straight down. Sometimes I practice just dropping the wrist and the foot at the same time. Your hip, once again, when you're over in this corner, you're basically going to use your hip to finish the gesture. Okay, so footwork for the white crane spreads wings. I have the yardstick behind my foot. This is a left bow stance. I would have my left hand up at the end of Parting the Wild Horse's mane. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to shift all my weight to my front foot. Do not lift up your body. Don't go up. Stay one height. Just bend your right knee and bend your heel. Okay, peel the heel off the floor. Keep the 5 toes down. Now, slide your foot parallel to the yardstick so that when it's behind you, again, be careful. Don't go so far that you're off line here. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. When you put your heel down, you should be able to drag your left foot straight back and intersect your ankle. For the rest of the gesture, all I basically do, now that I've rooted the back foot, corkscrew through my bubbling well, is simply to lift my left foot, but keep your leg straight because you're turning to the corner. And then when you put it down, you just put it down on the toe. Wherever it's hanging, drop it straight down. So let me face the front for a second. One thing that the yardstick's going to help you with, but not to get distracted by it, watch this. You want to make sure that when you slide this foot behind you to set up your cat stance, don't go too far. Because if you go too far and sit back, you're going to fall over. Okay? So part of the challenge is to make sure that you go far enough where when you put your heel down, you're in a good configuration. Sliding the left foot back will touch your ankle. If you don't come over far enough and you try to sit down, you're going to have the same problem when you pick up your left leg. You're going to fall off to the side. In martial arts, your hip is always ahead of things. And there's a posture known as, there's a term I call chambering. And chambering basically is when you wind yourself up and then release. So a quick sidebar for a second. When I'm doing Parting the Wild Horse's mane, and I turn, I'm wound up, I'm chambered. I release, and guess what? I'm going to chamber, wind up in this other corner, so that when I come forward, I have something left to release. When we were doing Parting the Wild Horse's mane earlier, I roll back, and when I'm here in my center step, even though I don't stop here, the reason I have my center line over here is to be chambered. I'm tightened up. I'm ready to release my technique. Much in the same way that a baseball player steps out, holds the bat back. He's wound up so that when he puts down his foot, he can release this and send the ball a country mile. All right, so keep that in mind when you're doing White Crane Spreads Wings. You're going to wind up on one side, so you're chambering. You're going to release that tension, make your blocks or whatever, and now you're wound up over here. You're chambered over here so that you have some power left to come back from the front. And again, you're going to square your hips. Your hands are far away from you. Not here, out here. White Crane spreads her wings. Shift forward, hold ball, spread the wings. Make sure you hit the right corner, but keep your left foot straight ahead. Square off to the front. Wings. Shift forward, strong turn to the right corner. Hold the ball, pass the palms over each other, draw the string, lift, square off to the front. White Crane spreads wings. Remember to hit your corners. Slide the foot behind you to establish your cat stance. Strong turn to the left. Cross your palms. Draw the string. Keep the left foot relaxed and straight in front of you. Hit the corner. Touch down. Square off to the front. White Crane spreads wings. Shift forward. Strong turn to the right corner. Hold the ball. Pass the palms, spread your wings, draw the string, hit the left corner, square off. White Crane spreads wings. Shift forward, turn strong to your left, hit that corner. Cross your palms, draw the string. Keep your legs straight ahead as you lift it, maintain your one height, square off. White Crane spreads wings. Turn strong to the right. Root that heel. Spread your wings. Draw the string. Lift your leg. Hit the corner. Then square off.